Somebody who loves you would not say those things to you. They wouldn't say that nobody will ever love you the way that I love you.
Welcome back. Part 2 of this video because y'all got upset with me. Y'all came into the comments, y'all said, don't you talk about Melyssa Ford like that. She's a great woman, even though she's 48 and can't keep a man now. You know, it's okay that she lived this video vixen life and she's okay. She's a strong black woman. That's what you guys came into my comments and told me. I said, listen, okay, let me explain some more. So I'm gonna play this video, let you guys get into it so we can talk about why this woman and why all with the modern woman, 48 years old, 50 years old, 35 years old, whatever, is having trouble keeping a good man, finding a good man because of the mindset, the same mindset that this woman has. And don't get mad at me. I saw the simps coming through, simp VP, and I saw all the black women. Black women, we gotta have a talk. We gotta have a serious talk. Stay tuned to the end of the video. We're gonna get into it. But y'all gotta start to be accountable, man. Let's play the video. Let's play the video. Let's see what she says.
Because that indicates that there's a part of me that's broken or there's a part of me that's unlovable. But I didn't know how to articulate this. So I stayed in this relationship that I was wildly unhappy in for approximately 3.5 years, close to four. And I have to admit, I was not faithful in this relationship. Nothing that I'm proud of, but I just chalk.
Melyssa Ford, 48 years old, can't keep a man. Now, bear in mind, Melyssa Ford used to be gorgeous when she was doing the video vixen thing, when she was on TV and doing all these B movies that nobody watched and stuff like this. This woman was absolutely gorgeous. It may not look like it now because she kind of looked more like manly, kind of tough looking now, but she was beautiful back then. Okay, and now she's saying that she was in a relationship for 4 years or nearly 4 years with a guy, and she was unhappy. Now, if you watch the previous video, she talked about how her family loved the guy, her friends loved the guy, other relatives, distant relatives, all those, they loved this guy, but she didn't love this guy. And this guy was trying to change her life, trying to be in her life, trying to be the man for her, all this stuff. And she says, no, you're not the one. Not only that, but I'm out getting wood everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm Melyssa Ford. I'm top dog. I'm big time. I'm out getting wood from who knows where. I don't want you, even though I'm in it for 4 years. Yeah, I'm gonna let it play. I'm gonna let it play.
That up to, I was really, really young and I was hood famous. I was on the covers of magazines, on your local newsstand. So everybody recognized me. And that was another source of pressure that I felt being inside of this relationship rather than being free to explore all of my options. And so one day I was going through some drawers, folding laundry, placing clothes, in the drawers and such. And I found it. I found a box, and when I saw it, I said, please, God, don't let this be what I think it is. And I opened the box, and there it was. It was a ring, and the only thing that I could think was that it was an engagement ring. It sure as hell was not a promise ring. We were way beyond that. We were not in high school. I was not wearing this boy's varsity jacket. This was an engagement ring. And if I knew this man the way that I knew him, that proposal was going to be very public. And that terrified me to have to.
Listen to what this woman just said. First off, if a man is proposing to you, normally that would mean that this man is saying, "Okay, I'm ready to take on you. All that comes with you, your attitude, your debt, your lack of self-confidence, whatever it is, I'm willing to take on all that stuff. I want to show you that I love you, and I'm going to admit that to you, to your family, to your friends, to God. I'm willing and ready to do that." Now, this, according to her, this terrified her. Why would a man propose to me? I don't want this guy to propose to me. I don't want that. Why doesn't she want that? Because as she just stated, Melyssa Ford was out there getting wood. She was getting wood all over the forest, all lumberjacks everywhere. That's what she wanted. She didn't want commitment. She didn't want that value. She didn't want that life. She didn't want to be with somebody exclusively. Melyssa Ford wanted the wood in the back of a Ford. That's what she wanted. And this guy proposing to her, that bothered and disrupted her spirit. I'm telling you, that's how that normally works. Now she says it's because she's doing her thing at this time. She's on cover of magazines and all of this stuff. Maybe she's too young, whatever the case. But if you're too young to get married, then why are you in a relationship in the first place? If you don't want the commitment, why are you 4 years? 4 years. Why are you in the relationship for 4 years and you're unhappy? Like marriage is supposed to be about happiness. Let me tell you this too. Marriage is not all about happiness. I've seen, look, there's a saying out there that a man will be unhappy and stay in his marriage for his family, but a woman will leave her family looking for happiness. And that's crazy. That's set deep within me, man. It really makes you think, especially modern women, because they are so about self, so about me. I'm on the magazine. I'm doing the thing. I'm the red carpet. I'm Melyssa Ford. I want this wood and that wood, and there's plenty of wood that's willing to enter you too. So that wouldn't have been a hard thing for her to get in that space and in that time. And she says the commitment and the marriage and the ring terrified her because it seems like this guy was a good guy, according to her family and her friends and all this. Seems like everybody else around her thought that this guy was a good guy and a good fit for her because they probably were looking at her saying, "Hey, girl, you need somebody to settle you down," and she's like, "No, I need the next piece of wood. That's what I need." Anyway, let's go. Let's see what you say.
To say no in front of our friends and family and publicly humiliate him.
So she was saying, I'm gonna let it play, but she was saying that she didn't want to say no in front of everybody when this guy was going to propose to her. So let's see what happens.
He did not deserve that. But I also could not see myself saying yes in front of everybody just to save face and then later on have to break it to him like that.
I'm sorry, real quick, because I want to give her props for this. She's saying like, no, I didn't want to do that, and then say yes, and then have to change it up or feel a certain way about it, the engagement she's talking about. So kudos to Melyssa Ford for that, for understanding, hey, for whatever reason, whether she was right or wrong, she did not want to do the whole marriage thing at that time. And she understood that and she did not want to leave him on. So kudos to her for that.
That this is not something that I was going to be able to go forward with. So what I did instead was I packed up all my belongings while he was out of town and put them in storage and flew back to Canada. And then I had the conversation about us breaking up over the phone. I know what you're probably thinking as well. Yo, Melyssa, that's fucked up. I know. It took years.
Sorry about the language too, whatnot. But yeah, that's messed up. So I thought she was gonna, go a whole different direction with that, being mature about it. But she flew away, and then a guy that you've been with for 4 years, because you couldn't have that conversation. You could. Let me tell you why she couldn't have that conversation. More than likely, this guy was head over heels for her. This guy was in love with her. This guy was committed to her while she was out there in the forest getting all the wood from all the lumberjacks. Continue.
For me to make peace with this decision. I have self-flagellated over this decision. I have beaten myself up every way to Sunday that you possibly can. I tried to reconcile with him at one point, which was a big mistake. The second engagement. So I'm 28 years old.
So I guess she's getting into her second engagement now. Again, 48-year-old now who can't get a man or keep a man, and no man wants her. But now in her early years, this is her second engagement. Let's see how that goes.
And I have left the previous relationship, the point five, and I have met this man who, the minute I saw him, I knew I was going to be with him. He just, he just was it. I don't know how to describe it. And the second I heard his voice, I said, I'm going to marry this man. I don't know what it was. Like, it just, he had this Louisiana drawl. It's my favorite Southern accent. He was huge, like 6'1", 246 pounds of hulking muscle. He had skin the color of like red clay. He had this thick neck, big round head. He had this crooked tooth that drove me wild. His flaws were like manna from heaven for me. And I loved his dirty draws, and I could just sleep in his armpit right after he'd played a game of like pickup basketball. That is how much I loved this man. And our courtship was a whirlwind.
Yeah, buddy. Let me translate this for you. Let me translate this for you. New guy comes into the scene, and it's the physical. Here we go. The physical, especially for you black women. Black women, I need y'all to pay attention to this right here. But it's the physical. When you are only looking at the physical, you're blinded to everything else. When you're looking for a man or whatnot, you want to have a man that is a spiritual leader, a physical leader, obviously, one who will provide for you, who will take care of your kids, who is provision. All those are the important things. But the modern woman, especially the black woman, we're looking for a guy that has dreads. We're looking for a guy, that's 6'6" and he makes X amount of dollars. Those type things. All those things that do not matter at the end of the day. Dude comes to her, and we're gonna call dude Thor because he gave her the hammer. You can bet the dude was giving her that hammer that she was looking for. He's got the six pack, like she said, the thick neck, all this physical stuff is crooked. She cleaned his drawers because old dude was giving her that hammer. That's what was happening. And with this dude, she was saying, I knew that I wanted to marry this dude. Compare that. Pay attention, man. I'm teaching. Pay attention to compare to the previous guy who she was with for 4 years, and she didn't want this guy. 4 years, and she was unhappy with this guy. 4 years, and she did not love this guy. Even though her family and her friends and everybody around her said, this is a good guy, I want this guy, yes, go with this. She was like, no, because she did not want the good guy. She wanted Thor's hammer. That's what she wanted. The hammer always win with these modern women. She did not want a good guy. She wanted Thor's hammer to put her against the wall and through the mat. Let it play.
He wined and dined me. He bought me lovely, lovely gifts. I'd wake up to those baby blue Tiffany boxes just laid on the pillow right next to me. We could go to my favorite store, and as long as I put on a little fashion show for him, everything I wanted I could get. But when I say that the gifts really mattered,
Wild stuff. Women love that wildness. Put me through the bed, put me through the wall, flatten me out, buy me things. I'll put on a show for you every time we go to the store. I try on stuff. That's that wild. I want the bad guy. She did not want the good. Okay.
nothing to me. It was this man. He was the gift to me. That's just a fact. And we were 6 months into our relationship when the first sign of trouble appeared. I was in Denver for All-Star Weekend, and I was working for BET at the time. So I had a lot of responsibility.
I'm just pause real quick. Look at this picture, man. Yeah, I'm gonna give y'all a second just to look at this picture. The woman that you want to be with, would you look at this picture? She wide, it's wide open, man. Just, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I had to make a lot of appearances. I had to interview a lot of people. And a lot of those people were athletes. And he was back home. And I did not know that he was jealous. It didn't even cross my mind. And so when I got home after an event and I was perturbed by, an interaction with a strange man at a party that I had been at. He'd said something vile to me and it hurt my feelings. And all I wanted was to be comforted. And so I went back to my hotel room and I called my boyfriend and I just asked him to just tell me that he thought that I was beautiful and that he loved me. And he didn't do that. He just pressured me to tell him what happened. Why are you asking me to do this? And so I told him what happened, and he responded by saying, "Why would I want to date such a weak bitch that would be that offended by what some strange guy has to say to her?"
Whoa. Well, again, I'm sorry about the language. That's crazy. Whoa. Let's unpack that real quick because that's a lot that just happened. Now she's saying that because of who she was at the time, Melyssa Ford, you know, on screen, all this type of stuff, video vixen, model, etc. She's saying that she went to one of these parties, I guess an NBA party, she says, or whatever, and somebody at the party said something disrespectful to her. Let me say this first, because that should not be the case. As men, as leaders, as heads, we should definitely not, even if she's in that lifestyle, even if she's doing OF, even if she's wilding out and stuff like that, we have to be responsible with our words. Period. But that's not all men. Some men will call you and tell you exactly what you are or what they believe or perceive you to be. So more than likely what happens, she's at one of these parties and somebody roll up and he's probably trying to get close and she's not giving the play and he just spouts out what she truly is. You ain't nothing but a yacht, yacht, yacht anyway. And that made her feel some kind of way, at the party. So what she does is goes back to her apartment, her complex, wherever she's going, goes back there and she calls Thor and she wants Thor to comfort her because Thor's not in town with her. She can't get the hammer. She's like, then you just talk to me and just comfort me and all of these things because I can't get you to give me that hammer right now, to electrify me. And dude on the other end of the phone, I think she says they've been together for 6 months, which is crazy. Head over heels for the guy 6 months. Hate the good guy for 4 years. Whatever. But what happens is the guy on the phone, let me translate how that works. Because the guy on the phone, 6 months guy, understands who and what she is. He's no fool. He understands that this woman that I'm, giving the hammer to for 6 months is wow, she's on TV, she's on video, she's a vixen, she's wilding, she does all this in the bedroom. I know what it is that you are. I know what it is that you do. And more than likely, this guy is thinking to himself, okay, some guy just told you what you truly are. I know that that is the case. You want me to put my life on the line, or you want me to fly into town, go find this guy, put my finger in his face, and say, "Why are you talking to my woman like that?" I know plenty of good men who have found themselves in the grave or in the prison over a woman who has lied about what somebody said, or the fact that somebody told her the truth about, and she felt disrespected by it. And this guy more than likely is thinking, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? You out there wilding out. Dude told you that you're wilding out, and what you want me to comfort you? I don't do the communication comfort. I just give you the hammer. And you need to understand that. And she didn't get that. She doesn't understand that because she's head over heel with dude. And dude's just like, you're the next in line. I'm telling you that. Let's see what she has to say. I'm sorry. Play it.
There's just no way that he just said that to me. I'm sorry, what? And he said, you heard me. And I said, I'm really confused right now. And he was like, I'm sure you are. I felt like I was talking to a stranger. There's no way that this was the person that I had just spent the last 6 months with, completely absorbed with, and in the throes of like love and ecstasy with. And I said,
6 months. Throes of love and ecstasy. She feels like she was wrapped into him. He wasn't wrapped into you. You're just another video vixen. You're just another piece. But she's in love. Why was she in love? Why was she head over heels? Why was she crazy about this guy within 6 months? The hammer will do that.
I'm glad that I'm finding out who you really actually are now rather than later. He said, yeah, I'm sure you are. Click. And hung up the phone on me.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna let it play. I'm gonna let it play, man. But it's ironic how she phrased that too. And that's true. That's true. She's finding out who he is. Again, in his life, you're just passing by. In your life, you were trying to make this guy a staple of your life because you like what he was doing or saying or buying you at the time. And at that moment was a crossroads of this guy's like, hey, do I go and jump into this thing? Because this is going to push us to the next level in our relationship, which I don't want. It's like, compared to the first guy, it's like he found the ring that you was hiding from him. And he was like, oh, this ain't what I want. This ain't the marriage that get out of here. So the roles kind of reversed from the previous dude that you were with. And now you're in that situation. What's up, girl? Hmm, right. Anyway, I think that's the end of the video. Man, listen, this is a lesson, and especially because I said I was going to talk to the black women just for a little bit, man. You have to be accountable for what is going on in your life, especially as a black woman. We're talking to black women right now. And this woman is a black woman, right? And when is she going to come to realize her role in her not finding that happily ever after? And I think it's too late for her. If she's going to have that particular mindset that she has. I know she's on like Joe Budden's podcast and stuff like that. And the mindset has not shifted, has not changed. She's still, it's like that Vivica Fox mindset, that Maya mindset, that it doesn't click to them. It's like, hey, I'm 60 years old and I want a good man, and this man better do this, 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 this. And the men are like, nah, it's over. It's over. You're not as beautiful as you used to be. You're not as fine as you used to be. You're not as desired as you used to be. Then you factor in with black women. Black women are the least desired group of women on the planet. That's not me. That's the data. They are the least married group of women on the planet. That's not me. That's the data. Then you factor in a big part of the third element of that is that black women off their children more than any other women on the planet. So if you are a good man, why in the world would you want that for your family and your life? The most dangerous place right now for a man to be of any color is in the presence of a black woman, according to the data. That's not Henry saying that. That's not me making that up. That's not me making that rule. That's what the data is showing. Now, if you're upset about that, it's because you have a lack of accountability. If you're upset with that, then that's your issue. Instead, you should think about that, figure out why that is, and say, maybe I shouldn't be cheering for Cardi B when she's twerking and jerking on stage, or I shouldn't be cheering for a Michelle Obama who wants me to off my children. I shouldn't be cheering for Kamala who wants me to off my children, or whoever. All this foul stuff, this sexy red and Glorilla who looks like a gorilla. Why is this stuff happening? Why is this the image of black women? And if it is the image of black women, how do we change it? Because you can't just say, oh, well, our black men are supposed to take care of it because you just spent 2 decades saying that we don't need no man. I got it myself. I got my own, doing my thing. So when you go into the black man's like, nah, y'all got it. See, these white women are just as sweet. These white women are submissive, they're kind, they're slim, etc., etc., etc. And when I look at television and radio, these white women are not twerking and gyrating and thinking that that's the way they should be. There's a conversation that has to be had for our black women. And this young lady, Melyssa Ford, matter of fact, it's all about her. We're gonna from now on, we're gonna call her Melyssa Ford, because it's all about me, instead of looking at the outside, looking at other things. So, but that's just me. Y'all can get mad at me if you want to. We can talk about it in the comments, man. I appreciate y'all for checking out the content. Always checking out the content. Hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, hit the like button. You can follow us on Discord too. Same name Henry and Victoria does. And you can see some of the behind the scenes stuff that we do. We definitely appreciate it, man. Let me know if I got it right, because maybe I'm totally wrong about this whole situation. And you guys want to let me have it, let me know about it. We'll dive into it. I appreciate it. God bless you.